As many of those in our congregation know, 2025 will be the 150th anniversary of the United Church of Canada's amalgamation, the time when Methodist, Presbyterian, and congregational communities of faith became one denomination. Leading up to this celebration, we have been learning and praying about becoming a courageous community of faith by offering hospitality in our communities. Our God's Beloved ministry is one of the first steps in this initiative. For those who don't know, God's Beloved is a social and support group for new immigrants to Canada who have been threatened with violence, including death, in their home countries because they identify as 2S LGBTQIA+ people. A second initiative has been to offer the City of Ottawa an invitation to use our hall as a winter warming center for the unhoused, as long as adequate security can be put in place so our church can continue to be a safe place for our other community renters. We have not been intentionally secretive about this initiative, but we have kept our discussions private because we didn't want to unnecessarily cause alarm. It is our plan to have a congregational meeting to discuss this matter. No clear decision has been made. We will have robust consultation with all of our renters, including our big AA and Narcotics Anonymous groups, Master Gardeners Music Box Studio that brings students into our building 4 days a week, and the Montessori School, which is our largest and longest term renter. Rashmead was brought on board in the summer. Initially, she had very big concerns about her licensing, so she contacted the Ontario Ministry of Children and Community Service for input. To all of our surprise, they came back and answered that as long as the safety measures we outlined were put in place and the site would not offer harm reduction types of services, they would not oppose the program. We shared this information with Cale Brown, who manages the shelter services for the City of Ottawa, and thus they began their due diligence. That process is still going on, so the warming center is still purely hypothetical. A determination of the needs for shelter space will be made in November. Now, in an effort to be transparent with the parents of the school, Rashmi sent out a letter to her parents about the possibility of having a warming hall. The letter she sent was based on a communication I had prepared for distribution to the congregation once we had a positive assessment from the city. I had asked Rashmi to send me her letter before it went out, and for a number of reasons this didn't happen. If I had seen the letter before, I would have made it much clearer that this was only a tentative idea and that consultation would occur before any formal agreement was made. Since being prematurely made public at the end of last week, a hue and cry has arisen from school parents and Island Parks Community Association. Some are here today. They are fearful that individuals using the warming center will include sex offenders, drug dealers, and addicts, the mentally ill, and these people will traumatize their children and vandalize their properties. From discussion with Cale, it is our understanding that the people who would be using the shelter would in fact be niche clientele. The shelter would house new Canadians, rehabilitated drug and alcohol users who do not want to use the downtown shelters because they do not want to be led into temptation, and homeless individuals who identify as 2S LGBTQIA people because they are very bullied in the large shelters. We would also take in people who have pets and won't go into a shelter unless the pet can join them. City social workers know these individuals, and we trust that they can make safe decisions. Finally, the fear of the mentally ill is already a reality in our community. People with mental health issues are already present and come to the Royal Ottawa, mostly without incident. All this to say, we knew that some people would be afraid for themselves and their children even before firm negotiations began. We know that there are people that feel so strongly that they are threatening Rashmead that they will take their children out of her school if a warming center opens. We have had a 20-year relationship with Rashmi and the school, and we don't want her to be being traumatized and face economic repercussions. Going forward, it is Kitchissippi's plan to wait. The city has not yet said that the space is suitable, or it may be that they already have enough alternative shelters. And if this is the case, nothing will proceed. Remember, we only have capacity for around 25 people and only have hours available from 11 o'clock until 7 a.m. It costs money to set up and staff a shelter, so the city actually is more interested in facilities that can house bigger numbers and offer 24-hour care. I know waiting is difficult and that some people are upset. We will hold a gathering here in the sanctuary so those who want to attend either by live stream or in person are able to do so. So now, I have mistakenly told some people that this meeting will occur next Sunday. I, in fact, was incorrect about that. Jenny tells me that we must give 2 weeks' notice to the congregation of a general meeting. So that brings us to the Remembrance Sunday, October the 10th.
November.
Once, hopefully Jeff Leeper and Cale Brown will be available to join us at that meeting and answer questions. We have a lunch and learn with our special guest Esther in the hall today, so we don't have time to answer questions now. Kitchissippi members, if you have people approach you about this matter, please offer an invitation to the congregational meeting on November the 10th and tell them that the date for the gathering and time will be well publicized. Thank you.